Meeting of the Fenton Community High School District 100 Board to order. May I have a roll call?
Matute? Goodrich?
Yes.
McCullough?
Present.
Miller?
Here.
Lewis?
Here.
Radzinski?
Here.
Figueroa?
Here. We have a quorum. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, please read our Fenton missions, beliefs, and Bison Way statements.
Absolutely. The Fenton mission statement: cultivate successful, passionate, empowered learners through rigor, relevance, and relationships. Fenton belief statement: successful, passionate, empowered learners thrive when we provide a safe, caring, and welcoming environment. Diversity, equity, and inclusion unify our community. School and home collaborate as one. We champion innovative teaching and engaged learning with state-of-the-art facilities. We infuse social-emotional learning into academics and culture. We prepare students to fulfill their civic responsibility. We immerse students in authentic life experiences. The Bison Way. Students and adults at Fenton High School create a safe, caring, empathetic environment where we believe in each other, respect diversity, communicate openly, grow together, and hold each other to high expectations to become the leaders and innovators of the future.
Karen, do we have any public comments tonight?
Yes, we do. We have one.
As a reminder, public comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker, with a limit this evening of 30 minutes total. As a reminder, please address staff members and students by title and not by name to protect their privacy.
Larry Anzalone?
Good evening. Hello. Good evening. I've been before this board, I believe it's 3 times, maybe 4 times, about the same topic. It's communication. I've been trying to communicate with the athletic director and trying just to facilitate my job and get sports. And it keeps falling on deaf ears. I need this information so that I can perform my job and duties. The athletic director is a very young man. He has no idea. Personally, I don't think he's even completely competent in even the athletic director. But he has no idea what a grounds guy does, what it takes to set up fields, or any of that. It takes a lot of planning when you're doing multiple sports. This time of year, we're doing soccer, tennis, flag football, cross country, and regular boys football. It's a lot of coordination, a lot of different fields, and all I'm asking for is communication, and it's ridiculous that I got to be up here again. This is a typical calendar. You can't see it from here, but it's color-coded for each of the sports. I got blues for football, pink is for flag football, green is for tennis, orange is for soccer, and fluorescent yellow is for cross country. The next 3 weekends are going to be brutal here for me, especially since I lost my partner. He had triple bypass surgery, and I'm by myself. And there's no effort being made to get me help. So communication has now become even more imperative. The schedule here I did at the beginning of the year, before we even started. I asked for a tentative, well, this was tentative, and I wrote all this on the calendar. I've been asking for updates so that I can update this, and there's a lot of changes that have taken place, but I can't get another copy of all the sports so I can update my calendar. It's ridiculous. I used to get this information. But the athletic director's secretary doesn't want to do her job because she's retiring and she doesn't have to give me the information anymore. And it's unacceptable. When there was a change, an email came across to me, and I would implement it on my calendar. And I don't do that anymore. She doesn't send me emails. This is a sheet I get. It's weekly. It only tells me. So if something is changed on this calendar that I got from 3 months ago that I updated it, I find out Monday morning. Monday morning might be too late. This is ridiculous. Just give me the information I need to do my job. I don't know what I got to do. I'm trying to talk to the board because the administrators don't want to comply. And it's your job as my elected officials to make this happen. I don't know what to tell you guys. Am I going to have to keep doing this all season long? I'm going to take mental health days if you guys don't help me out here. Because I can't do this. It takes a long time to mix paint lines on fields. I got dinosaur equipment. Absolutely. Go to any district and find out and look at my stuff that I use to do the job here and compare it with other districts, and you'll find out it's Stone Age. But I can't even do it because I can't get communication. And I'm asking you now for the last time, make it happen. Make this guy give me the information and give it to me when the changes take place. If there's a cancellation, as soon as they know about it, I want to know about it. If there's an addition, as soon as they find out about it, I want to know about it. I don't want to know the week of. It's not asking a lot.
Thank you for your comment.
President Lewis, I'd like to speak, please.
In regards to what?
Concerning the public comment,
We don't address the comments.
I'd like to speak. I'm requesting the floor.
Go ahead.
Mr. Anzalone, I appreciate your passion for your work, and I appreciate the work that you do. Mr. Anzalone has made a public comment on multiple occasions, and the theme has been consistent, and it's involved communication. I don't think that making certain that communication is occurring is a particularly difficult task. So I'd like to ask Ms. Ward, Dr. Binston, if the two of you would please collaborate with Mr. Anzalone and the athletic director to ensure that appropriate communication is being given to him so that he's able to perform his duties effectively. I think that's a reasonable request and one that can be accommodated. Is that a yes?
No, I'm not commenting on that.
Okay, so my request, I'll reiterate, is for Mr. Anzalone to be supported by administration and staff to have an effective communication plan that allows him to perform his tasks effectively and in a way that's a part of an environment that's conducive to performing duties professionally. Thank you.
May I have a motion and a second to go into closed session for the following? A, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C1. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of Fenton School District 100. B, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C2. Collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
When we come out of closed session, we will continue with the remainder of the agenda. May I have a roll call?
Radzinski?
Yes.
Figueroa?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
McCullough?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes. We're in closed session.
Second.
Roll call.
McCullough,
Here.
Goodrich,
He'll be here.
Miller,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes. Back in open session. Next is informational item. Sam?
Okay, we have a lot of informational items today, mainly focusing on the start of the school year. It's been an outstanding start to the year as we are in day 3 with students, and so we'll kick it off with start of the new school year highlights.
All right. So we're going to highlight a couple things. So as we said last time, this year's theme is Level Up. And we've been speaking to our staff about that. We've been speaking to our students about it. It's been a great theme so far, and we're already making some progress on things. So a couple of events that we did to kick off the year, we had our sneak peek night that we started. This was our second year of doing this. So the idea of sneak peek night is just really this open house format that any student and parent can come in, and they're just really running through their schedule, looking around the school, things like that. And we had a tremendous turnout. We don't have people sign in or anything like that. It's very casual in nature, but we had hundreds of families. And it was great because people really got to see the STEM wing. We had merchandise for sale, which the parents love. We have special merchandise that we've designed that has like Fenton Mom on it, which is very popular. And we even had some alum come back that haven't been at Fenton for a couple years that came back just to see the STEM wing. So it was a really great night. It was a good way to start off the year. We had our freshman orientation, August 19th. So the freshmen come for a half day, and they get paired up with their Link Crew mentors, which are our juniors and seniors. And we had an outstanding group of Link Crew leaders who led the kids through some team building activity, get to know you, and then taught them the ropes. So that was a great way to kick off the class of 2029. I'm going to let Steph talk a little bit about our staff days.
So on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday last week, we had new teacher orientation, so new faculty, 3-day orientation for them. On Thursday, we had all staff in for our Institute Day for certified staff. We went through some building priorities, which included new initiatives for attendance and discipline. And then we had Dr. Mike Mandarino in from NIU. He is an expert in disciplinary literacy, which is going to be our focus this year. In all areas, our instructional coaches are going to be working with him to facilitate work in disciplinary literacy in all areas. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of what that is, it's the idea that every content area has a special way of speaking, writing, reading, all those different types of things. So we're going to talk to all of the teachers about what that looks like for math, what that looks like for science, what that looks like for art, music, things like that. So the idea is that that's a way that we can create more equity in the building for all students. And then day 2, I think, is the next slide.
Yep.
Yeah.
So day 2, we have all staff. So we did a lot of kind of celebrations, retirements, things like that, talked about our new initiatives, and then we're committed to having a legal training. And so this year we brought in Terry Engler, who is one of our special ed attorneys, and she did a great presentation for us for all staff overviewing legal considerations with student discipline. And she stayed around for questions, so that was very well received by the staff. It's always good to brush up on things like Senate Bill 100 and all of those sorts of things. So it was, you know, two great days for everybody to get back in the swing of things. And then on Monday, all of our students were back. Right now, our enrollment for the year is sitting at 1371. And like always, we had the drum line greeting both our freshmen that came at 8 o'clock, and then again when sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So that's a real nice festive way. Seniors were excited. Today we gave out the t-shirts, which you all got at lunch, which the kids really liked, this year's black t-shirts. So they were wearing them up by the end of the day. And then we wanted to share with you, we've been working really hard on some of the attendance, discipline initiatives, and also proper use of the STEM wing. So we wanted to share with you the video that we shared with all the kids on day 1.
Welcome back, Bison. I'm so excited to kick off another year with you.
This year, our theme is simple but powerful. Level up. Every day, every class, every bison. Leveling up means pushing ourselves to be better. Stronger students, stronger teammates, and a stronger community. It's about taking what we already do well and pushing it to the next level. This year, we're focusing on 2 important ways to level up. First, attendance and being on time. Every day you're here, on time and ready to learn, is a day you move closer to your goals. Success starts simply by showing up. Second, our presence in the classroom. That means giving your full attention, being engaged, and keeping phones off and away, even during Bison time in study hall. When you're present, you're learning, you're growing, and you're setting yourself up for success. This year, we're all about leveling up together. Now I'm going to turn it over to the deans to tell you a little bit more about the STEM Wing.
Bison, we are so proud to welcome you into this brand new STEM Wing. This space is for you to learn, collaborate, and level up. But with this incredible space comes responsibility. Let's start with the learning stairs. Remember, the white stairs are for going up and down, and the wooden stairs are for learning, gathering, and sitting. Let's be responsible so everybody can enjoy it.
You'll also notice this new elevator. This elevator is only for students who have an elevator pass. If you don't have a pass, you'll need to use these stairs. Let's keep it safe, responsible, and fair.
We've also added new bathrooms in the STEM Wing. These are for students who have class in the STEM Wing. If your class is not in the STEM Wing, you must use the bathrooms closest to your classroom. That way, you can get back to learning as quickly as possible. Remember, with this brand new STEM Wing, we're gonna have a lot more space to move throughout the building. That means you're gonna have to plan ahead. You can still make it to class on time. There's no excuses. You're gonna have to think ahead, move with purpose, and level up your time management.
And when you're in the hallways, be prepared to show your Minga Pass or student ID if a staff member asks. This keeps our building safe and leveling up. The STEM Wing is an incredible space filled with opportunities.
Let's treat it with respect, use it wisely, and most importantly, level up every single day.
Let's level up. Every day, every class, every Bison. This is the year that we all level up. Welcome back, Bison.
So that was really well received by the kids. What we also do is this week we have a grade level assembly with each class. So we did seniors on Tuesday. Today we had sophomores, tomorrow freshmen, and then juniors on Friday. And we spend about 30 minutes going through different expectations with each class so that all kids are clear on this, and they've been responding really well. They love the STEM Wing. They want to be in there, and they are leveling up and following all the rules. So it's been really successful. They're super excited. I'm going to turn it over to Sam for the ribbon cutting.
Great, Kate. That was an outstanding video. You and the deans there, really, really timely information. Well done. Okay, so we did have the STEM Wing ribbon cutting review. As many of you appreciate the board members that were in attendance for this event. We had quite a good turnout. We probably had about 35 to 40 different officials from Bensonville and Wooddale. I'd like to thank Mayor Nuncio Police from Wooddale and our village president, Frank D. Simone, who were there. There was a wide variety of trustees, aldermen. The Park District was well represented by their president and executive director. District 2, Anita Miller was there. We're glad to see her, as well as the public libraries, and even some first responders came through to join us. So it was really a tremendous event as we cut the ribbon, and now it's in use by our students, and they're thrilled to be there. Okay, we're going to pause there right now and give a overview of the STEM Wing. So come on up, Brian. And Dr. Wilds is also here to assist as needed.
Hello, I'm Brian Courtney with Gilbane Construction. We're the general contractor on the STEM Wing Addition project. So current activities obviously we've wrapped up, but we still have some few punch list items we should have wrapped up by the end of this week. Demobilizing any tools and equipment that we have on site, and then now that people are living in the space, any warranty-related issues that arise, so things that need to get fixed. A financial summary, currently surpluses in contingency, allowances, and reimbursables. So we obviously finalizing all the costs. We're not 100% complete with finalizing costs yet, but right now we're tracking at about a pending credit of $707,000. So that's good money that the school can use for future things. I also just want to say thank you for the opportunity to let us be a part of this. It was a really cool project and transformative. And I was talking with people here. I don't always get to see people's reactions when they get into a space. So I've seen the students and teachers. It's really been cool to see that as school starts. So thank you.
Absolutely. Any questions? Yes, Reed.
I do have one. It's not directly related to this. If I misstated any of the facts, did anybody jump in? So we had a bunch of rain here a couple weeks ago, and I heard that we still had some flooding for some reason or another. It didn't affect classes, but I thought at one time we had taken care of all the flooding. We tore up the front yard, we redid the football field, and I was a little surprised to hear we still had water, and I don't know if that was something that you folks have worked on.
I'll start, and then Brian can come. It was like, Sundays when we noticed that there had been flooding, or in many cases, actually what it was, Reed, was condensation. The air was very humid, and we're still trying to regulate some of the air conditioning systems. So that we saw water, and then once we came in, I would say most of it, and Brian can correct me, but was due to condensation from the heat and humidity. The actual water mitigation project that we did complete did work in that the water did flow into the trench as it was supposed to. And that Sunday, I actually walked around by the auditorium all the way to the football field. That whole area would have been way underwater, and it was not. So and actually, Gilbane came in also, some of our other administrators, just to assess the situation. And thankful our custodial crew came in and cleaned it up.
Water in the building?
There was some water in the building, like there'd be a door, and some water did come in. A couple of the areas, like in the old kitchen area, where we've had water in the past, there was some water, but it was, I would consider it manageable. And due to the amount of rain, that was, some of that did happen, but it wasn't anywhere near the extent of like the issues we had before.
So it sounds more like an HVAC getting it balanced to take care of the humidity issue and then seepage through the cracks in the doors, but with that wind out of the north, I had water in places I've never had water in my house, and I'm not making excuses, but that was a heck of a storm. So if it was at the doors, it sounds like we probably got to look at some door seals, which wasn't part of the flood control project.
Well, all right.
Right, well, it's an excellent question. We were concerned too. There were even a few areas closer to the STEM wing, and then then we inspected the roof and things like that. But overall, it was mitigated pretty quickly just by some of our staff members. Yeah.
If these guys are still here, don't let them get away.
Well, it's a credit to them. We said, what about this? What about that? And
put a little putty around the doors or whatever.
Okay. No. It's we thoroughly vetted it, and for the most part, with the cooler weather, things have really regulated, and the BAS system, which is another topic probably for another time, is still ongoing. If you recall, the board approved some of those projects to fix some of the valves and things like that, so.
Is that the HVAC thing?
Yeah,
It was $850,000. I hope it's working.
Yeah, it's getting there, but it identified more work that needed to be done, so that's what we're currently doing. But, Carl, the new Buildings and Grounds person, has been able to do a pretty good job regulating. We also got some advice on when to open vents and when not to open them from the BAS people, because we met with them also. So overall, fortunately, it didn't affect any educational programming whatsoever, which is good. I think it was Oswego they had to close for, Eric Nine is said back there. No.
7 had to not hold class because of power outages.
Power outage, yeah. So I know Oswego for 2 days did e-learning, so it was there were other issues elsewhere. So overall, just wanted to keep the board informed that there was some issues, but we think that we have it under control.
I guess the important part, the new areas were good.
There's condensation, so that was
there was a
HVAC.
couple areas in the new, like even one of the computer science classrooms, there was some water coming down. We're like, what's going on here? But again, once you try to trace where that water came from, we think it was condensation versus like poor construction. Right, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're not going anywhere. We'll continue to monitor.
Yeah, they're still here. We're still meeting. We had a pretty good meeting just the other day where we went through a whole list of things that.
By the way,
yeah.
What's the warranty on that over there? We're 6 months from now. We get another condensation leak.
Well, I tell you what, I can answer that, I think. The question, so we're going to get all the warranties for everything electronically and hard copies,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
So, and the hard copies will be in a binder that's accessible.
All in
You
the
can
same
come in
place?
anytime, read, and take a look. Or you may want the e-copy. You may want to look at the e-copy. Okay, but anyway, there will be further discussions on what is the financial implications once we finalize everything and we start to take a look at what the other needs are. So that's in upcoming months. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have Dr. Coranda come up and go over a few timely items here.
Good evening. The first item is our summer school review. We had a very successful program again this year. We ran 2 sessions, one June, one July. They run about 4 weeks, and it's 4 days a week from 8:30 to 12:30. And in total, across the 2 sessions, we had 215 students who completed 323 credits. Some did multiple credits during credit recovery. They're able to pretest through some classes, and basically they pretest through on the online platform. Once they've done that, the computers, have they shown competency, have they shown skill with that, and then they move them on to the next section. So some students were able to do multiple classes, and they completed 55 different course titles in that time, both with direct instruction, where they were in the classroom with a teacher, for like math extension, where they were able to recover some credits and such, also through the online learning platform, which also has teachers. We use the ARC for that. Upwards of sometimes 60 students would be here with 3 teachers in the ARC working on their classes through the platform that we had at the time. And then we also ran a Math 2 Get-Ahead for students who wanted to move forward with their mathematics so that they could take more advanced classes. One of our math teachers taught that, and we used that with our new program and platform that we now have for online learning called Subject.com. So they were able to use that platform then, which was helpful because we got to see kind of how it worked before the rest of our students currently currently are on that program. So again, a very good and successful session for that. Consumer ed was also taught direct instruction. Students often take consumer ed in the summer because they want to free up their schedule for senior year especially, to take extra electives and so on. And then driver ed is always very popular in the summer as well. Students want to get through that before their sophomore year so that they can get in the process of working through their permit and getting their license with their behind the wheel. So again, a lot of mixed types of things that we did in the program, but again, very successful. A lot of good things came out of summer school. A lot of students caught up, and we were able to modify schedules for this year so that they could be back on track and working forward from their experiences in the summer school program. So again, about 215 students participated in that as we proceeded through.
Thank you. Thank you. Next slide. Just before Eric goes into safety updates, I just wanted to obviously mention the tragedy in Minneapolis. Thoughts and prayers to the families affected there as that Catholic school. There was a school shooting, and it's just a good reminder how important safety is. We take that seriously here, and proud of our efforts here to keep Fenton as safe as possible. But I asked Eric to come in and kind of go through, what our procedures are and how we go through safety standards. So,
yeah.
Eric.
And yeah, that's a very unfortunate incident there. We started getting those updates earlier today through our system that we have that we're part of through the state terrorism and intelligence system, and unfortunate to see all that come through. But it does, we do a lot of planning here, and that's what we'll talk about now on a number of things that we do, and state mandates, but also some of the Fenton-specific things that we do. So I broke this into two parts. We have annual and recurring items. So every year we have an annual review meeting. This is mandated by law, but it's also really good practice to have before school starts. So a couple weeks ago, we have this meeting, and I figured out it's my 13th one since I've been here. So this is 13 annual review meetings, and this is where directors, chiefs, deputy chiefs from the Wooddale and Bensonville Fire, Wooddale and Bensonville Police, and the Emergency Management Agency all come in. District 2 also joined us for this meeting. We try to do that more and more, where the schools kind of work together at the same meeting because they have to have one as well. And so he was kind enough, he came out, and we do some planning together as well. Our SRO attends that meeting, as well as some of our administrative team were at that meeting, and we talk through a variety of topics. Anything that might be, we talk about last year's meetings, but also what are current events that are taking place, what are things that we need to be doing as a school that might work well with law enforcement and the fire department, depending on what their needs are. So this year we talked about a variety of topics. Some of those were last August. We had the exercise here that we did. It was a full-scale exercise, and so we debriefed the outcomes of that exercise a year later because the police department was also still finalizing their report that they have to submit for themselves. So we talked about that at that meeting, and some outcomes that came through there that we had already done and are currently working with our partners on as well. We also talked about our current emergency procedures and operations. DuPage County has opened a new crisis recovery center. Well, it opens September 1st, but next week, Rich Watts, our special ed director, and I went out and we did that tour last week. Where we went out to that facility in Wheaton to see how the county is working with all the different first responder agencies to help and assist with crisis. Anyone who's in crisis, we use SAS for various things as well, and they have a setup there now where they have put a lot of resources into that crisis recovery center where our families can reach out to them directly. We can reach out on behalf of the families, and they will help coordinate all of that. And that's a 24/7 crisis recovery center. So we went out and took a look at that, and we're talking with our student services group here about that as well. And then we also did a walkthrough of the new wing. And then every year we do this, but this year we especially with the new wing, we had so far the Bensonville Fire Department has come through. I believe all 3 shifts come through, and they tour our facility, our entire facility. They find all of the different operations rooms. Where are the boilers? What do they need to know about new facility, especially where the health offices for ambulance response, as well as the new areas that have been done with the walkways and such towards the fields in case they need to bring equipment in, wherever that may be. Our SRO also coordinated with the deputy chief over at Bensonville to have the multiple shifts of police come through. So while we were having our teacher meetings, the police department was also coming in, walking the building and getting familiar with the new area especially. We also, as the picture indicates, like last year we did, we do a lot of trainings together with our agencies, which is very helpful for us and them. We see what their procedures are, they see what ours are, and then we coordinate that through that annual review meeting. And it's nice that they come in and train in our facility. That's something we started many years ago with them because it gets them familiar with our facility as well. And same with fire department also. We talk about them, their responses and what ours are so that we can coordinate. And so there is a lot that goes into making sure that we're all planning together. And that also helps with our partnerships because those partnerships are very strong. I was thinking about this before. Many of the people that are at these meetings and that I coordinate with have been the same ones for the last 13 years. So this has been very stable and very, very helpful for Fenton as well as them and the agencies because it gives us an opportunity to work together and provide those services and make sure that safety stays of paramount importance and making sure that we are looking and reviewing our procedures constantly so that we can then make any changes that we need to. We also have some consultation services and campus protection that we do. We are working again this year with Be Sure Consulting and the Juvenile Justice Online, which is a diversion program that we can make use of with our SRO and our dean's office. And that works with truancy, social media items, and we do a lot with them. And they are also available to us 24/7 if something were to come up, if we have an emergency of some kind, something takes place that we need assistance with law enforcement and so on. We call our law enforcement partners, and then we also work with Be Sure Consulting to make sure that we can address whatever issues may come up. And then trainings and professional development. I talked a bit about the trainings and that we do a lot of that here, but also the professional development where our team members are able to work together and go to not just conferences, but also trainings themselves. The Illinois Fire Service Institute, myself, one of our deans, we went last year and we did, John was there as well, that's right. And then Wooddale Police was there and so on, and we enacted a scenario at that training where it was an off-campus evacuation and reunification. So an emergency happens, so they actually do a tabletop run-through of the entire thing, and we've done that training multiple times over the last few years. And then the ROE, we have our partnership with them, the School Safety Task Force and Network through the DuPage County. We meet 4 times a year, and so I go to all those meetings, and we are able to talk about and look at whatever the best practices are, what changes are coming, and so on. So we do have a lot of, and there's so much more than that we've done, but we also are now broadening out with various of our team members. It's not just myself or another administrator going to all of these. Our MTSS coordinator and our special ed director also did one for MTSS for prevention, where we can use multi-tiered systems of support with preventive strategies, and that was something put on through the National Threat Assessment Center online with the Secret Service, and so we all attended that online. We've done rail safety and everything else that we can ever get into. We try to be in, and we try to put multiple of our team members to involve everyone in that process because we want to make sure that, again, our partnerships and coordination is very, very successful because in the event of an emergency, and we've had things that have happened, I've never once dialed my phone to any of the people that I work with and they haven't answered and there was an immediate response. So again, it's been very, very good partnership for the entire time I've been here, and it continues that way, and I'm very glad that that's the case because I think we all know the safety of this, the facility, but the people inside it is of paramount importance, and so we want to make sure that we continue that. A couple other things that we have at the school level. So our student services group, our school resource officer, our dean's office, and our campus security, they are really the front lines of a lot of what happens. The teachers in the classrooms, and then when things happen, threats come up, something concerning is said, they're concerned about a student's well-being and so on. They're able to get that information to us. We talk with our staff on that. We did have a safety update with our whole staff, as Kate and Steph staff were saying about the meetings we had. And so we work very, very closely to make sure that we're ensuring security with door checks, parking lot checks, and so on. We do also have a safety committee that will meet quarterly as well, and that's administrators, teachers, and staff that we sit and we go through everything, what's happening in the rooms, what works, what doesn't, how can we better serve, and make sure that we're staying on top of everything that we need to do. We have a threat assessment team as well. This is also mandated by law, but at the threat assessment team is the director of that is our special ed director. I sit on that as an admin representative, and then we have a school psychologist, teacher, counselor, social worker, and anything that comes up that might rise to the level of a threat comes through the threat assessment team for vetting, and our police officer also sits on that team. We also have a problem-solving team and the Bison intervention team, which works with students through the various tiered interventions that would come up that they might need assistance with to help them with whatever may be going on that's impacting their learning or anything that might be behavioral and academic that we can work through. Our visitor procedures are also very robust. We use the Raptor system to scan in anyone who comes into the building. We have a secured entry that comes in through our main end. They have to buzz in. Once they're in, they're secured in the vestibule. Then we can run ID and so on. We also have our parking lot is also through the surveillance piece of that as well. Thankfully, and fortunately, we haven't had any calls on that, but that system is there.
Is that Flock you're referring to? Right,
yeah. Yeah, the Flock system for scanning license plates, and then it alerts the police department if there's someone on campus that's already flagged in that system. So we have that as well. We're also this year doing stop and thinks. Those are per class period. So we take the first 5 minutes of a class, we make an announcement, we prep the teachers with this ahead of time, and it's not every period every day. We space them out over the months of the school year, but we might take a second hour, first 5 minutes of class and do a stop and think. Stop and think right now where you're at. What would you do if? And how would you barricade a room? Or how could you counter if something were to happen? Or stop and think about if you heard something that was of concern to you. How do you bring that forward and work through that?
And just real quick, the reason we do that is we do have a Bison time, which we do many of our programming in, but you're not always going to have a crisis during the Bison time. So it's not just where you're at then. We ask teachers and students to think about where are you first hour, where are you second hour, how close are you to an exit. Just a few minutes just to think about it in case there is a time where decisions need to be made. So we feel strongly that needs to happen pretty much every period to be directed so that there is some consideration, not to dwell on it, but just simply to think about it.
And to keep it at the forefront of the mind throughout the school year rather than just one time of an announcement at the beginning and then it goes months before we do anything else. So we like to keep that in the forefront. We also, with all of our ninth grade classes, our counseling team, and I think our deans this year are going in and meeting with each ninth grade Bison time just to introduce themselves. All the assemblies we're doing this week, we've had our student services staff, we put their pictures up so that we can remind everyone who we are. Our school resource officer and deans presented as well, and they did that again today. We'll do it the next 2 days as well. So we like to make sure that the students as a group and then smaller groups understand who we are and how we can support them through anything that may be going on. Again, concern for a friend, concern for themselves, and so on. So we make sure that we put ourselves out there and try to be preventive, but also we run data and see who might need some assistance, and we rely on what teachers tell us as well about students that there may be concerns with that we want to step in and assist.
Can I quick jump in just a comment? So real quick, last year I went through District 2 and they had a parent safety committee as well. Is there a possibility for that? Because I know there was some concerns on parents on what they should do during any kind of scenario, and then they put it on their website. That's kind of what the consensus was with the parents there. Do you think we could maybe possibly do something like that? I feel like that is a benefit to ask the parents what to do in those scenarios.
Sure, yeah, and I think we've done a few things. The committee itself, we haven't done that, but I know we'll talk through what that could look like.
Yeah, sure.
But we've also had, last year we had Be Sure come out. We did some parent things as well. And we try to do some parent university types of things. But to get that feedback on, our parking lot can be very busy. What does that look like for drop-off? What about visiting to schools? And as well to answer questions about what is it like in a classroom when my child is here, if we go into a lockdown and so on, to at least let people know what's happening and get feedback on it. So we'll talk through that, I think.
Great.
Yeah, for sure. And then our mandated, I'm sorry. Yep.
You mentioned the partnership with the ROE. When is the last time the compliance team was in our building?
We're inspected every year, so we go through that. But the compliance team...
From the ROE?
So yeah, we have an annual inspection. They do come in and we talk through our safety procedures, and that is part of it as well when they're walking around checking everything to make sure that we're in compliance along with our other building inspections.
So they were in the building within the past year?
Yeah, that's an annual visit with Carl, our buildings and grounds.
Right, and then they actually, for the new STEM wing, they're the ones that actually go through and give us occupancy of the building. They like the final sign off for that also.
Oh, that the ROE does?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
The ROE is the fire district, it's the building department.
Right, yeah.
Final approval is the ROE.
Yes,
for everything.
they're the ones that came through. That was the ones where we're like, okay, this is where we now can occupy the building.
Right, they
Yeah.
give the final approval based on everything.
Yeah.
Regional Office of Education.
Oh, so it's a school thing.
Yes.
And we do submit all of our paperwork through to them as well, and they have an entire portion of their site for all schools to utilize for compliance, as well as the safety group that we're in is run by the ROE with a group of people that do that, and so they can also come out at request if we would like them to come visit. We've done in the past where we've had individuals come out and do a full assessment of the school, just check everything in a much more thorough fashion, so we've done that as well in the past.
They also verify all of our safety drills, including an active shooter drill that we do every year. That's turned into the ROE, and they verify it, so which is a mandate.
Yeah, and we do we have 3 fire drills annually. We have a severe weather drill where we go into the halls or into the classrooms, the safe spaces, and practice that. The law enforcement drill for an active shooter situation, we do that. That has to be by November 1st, but we try to get those done earlier because we want it earlier on in the year for those. And then bus evacuation drills as well. We do those during our PE classes, and we check that as well. And then again, we partner with a variety of different agencies to help us with those. The fire department has to observe, but we do always invite them out to make sure that they can watch that, especially the first one we do this year with the new wing and the new evacuation areas. The other thing we've done this year is we've worked with a company on our evacuation and life safety maps. So we have fire evacuation as well as severe weather. So this is an example of one of the maps that are in all the classrooms right now, or going up in all the classrooms and offices right now. We're placing them temporarily until we can get permanent positions for all of them. But a couple years ago, we went from everything was written and hanging on the wall. Now it's maps, which we have to do, but it's also best practice. So all the maps are in the area that they are. And so in this example from that classroom 813, which is one of our culinary classes in a kitchen, the solid line is the direct route out. If that's blocked, the dashed line is your alternate. And so this is done by the company through life safety. They actually look at the feet, the square footage, how many classes might be exiting, and so on, and they create all these maps for us, which has been very, very helpful. The maps also indicate any AED devices and where they are, which is helpful to have, and then the outside assembly areas, that's in the bottom left. So we have 5 assembly areas where all the classes go together. We check their status with a red and a green card so that we know who we have to make sure we can account for everyone in the school. And then in that case, so 813 assembly area E, and it shows them all 5 assembly areas. areas. So if E were closed off, they know they could go to A and so on. And we practice this 3 times a year. But this year we're going to do it a little sooner than normal with a new area just to make sure that that's proceeding properly. So we have that. We also have a master map of this, but in each room it's this designated location. And then from room 813, the same thing on the severe weather shelter areas. Everything in blue is a secure space for severe weather sheltering. And so this map shows the route to where they need to go. So even though 813 is directly in front of a shelter area, they move around because sometimes other classes come down. So it's about how the classes come down and how we can space those out. So they actually go into the band room because that is a more secure area than just the hallway. So we try to get them into the most secure internal structures that we can.
You also have to think about occupancy in those areas and routes to those areas. I think you just said that, but just to emphasize it, how quickly can you get to a safe location? You can't have everyone going the same way. So these new maps are a significant upgrade for us as far as, it's a much better map. So thanks for initiating that. So that
absolutely, yeah. And we have numbered with construction. I think we lost 3 doors. We gained 1, so we've renumbered outside all of our doors with temporary signs. We talked about that at that annual review meeting as well, so that any responders coming in and anyone outside can say we're at door 33 and they know that to look for the 33. So we have those up right now, and then we're getting new signs for all the doors, but for right now we put up temporary ones just based on the renumbering that had to happen with the change of the exterior doors as well. So lots of upgrades, and we've done a great many things together with our partners, is also in the school. Our staff takes this very seriously. When the drills come, they are very, very specific. I always ask, tell me your exact feedback, what exactly do you need, and they have no problem telling me because they know I take it seriously, and we work on it together with our office and the SRO. So our students, our staff, they really do take this very seriously, and it's always been that way. And again, I'm very grateful that we have the partnerships that we have and as strong as they are, because everything does go very, very well. And knock on wood, we will never need to use any of this, but we'll continue to practice it. All right.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Okay, so pretty much every board meeting, we're going to have some sort of a superintendent search update. I think tonight is especially significant in that the job posting is currently online. It's through HYA. It does not go through Fenton High School. It goes through Hazard, Young, and Natia. So if you want to do a search later, you can actually see what it is. I want to thank the board for their time and feedback through either a special meeting or the individual meetings. I think that's been very helpful to put this together. Now, that's just one phase of this. There's certainly gathering feedback, and I think that was clear from the board that we need to do that. So next week is a big week as far as that's concerned. The surveys will actually go live on September the 3rd for a few weeks. Actually, continuing through our open house night is another opportunity to gather feedback. So this is surveys to get feedback on what type of leader HYA should be searching for.
I guess I missed where those surveys are going to.
Well, they're going to be going out to everywhere, yeah. We're going to put in our community outreach efforts to parents, to staff, students, anyone who we can gather feedback from, yeah. Yep. So that's another area is the surveys. Then we're also doing focus groups. So we're going to have a parent focus group September the 4th. Actually our first Padres Unidos meeting of the year is that night, and we're going to take a section of that time to gather feedback from that parent group. And then at 7:30, there's going to be another opportunity for parents to give feedback to the search firm. So that will take care of some of our focus group parent outreach. You're going to see more communication on that in the next few days. Then we're also going to, well, HYA will come in basically the entire day and follow a schedule where they're going to do a focus group of students during Bison time, and they're also going to talk to building administration prior to that. And then each lunch period, we're going to have teachers come in. Remember, this is all voluntary, where they come in during their lunch period and can provide feedback during the 3 lunch periods. And also, any other staff will also be able to come in during their lunch periods. So, you know, whether it be administrative assistants or security people or whoever wants to provide input, we want to hear what they have to say. Then after that, we're also going to make sure that our buildings and grounds team has a chance. We have buildings and grounds here during the day, and then we also have an evening crew that comes in, so we're going to try to get them right around that 3 o'clock time frame where hopefully they're all here. And those that want to, again, want to volunteer, come in and explain what they're looking for in our next leader. And then we're also going to have like an after-school meeting where sort of a catch-all group. So like if for whatever reason you were too busy during your lunch period, you can come in and share your thoughts after school. So that is what we're looking at there. There was also some talk of a special board meeting on September the 17th as far as establishing the executive profile. After further review, HYA determined that that was not necessary and that could be done at the next board meeting. So that'll be at the September 24th board meeting. We'll expect HYA to be here as they synthesize all this information and put it into that executive profile. Then that executive profile will be inserted into the job posting, and that job posting is live through the month of October. So plenty of time for any applicant to see not just the logistics of the opening, but then also more tangibly what are we looking for. Okay, I think that pretty much summarizes where we're at. Again, a busy
A little
week ahead.
clarification
Sure.
on the HYA. So just for my own scheduling, we had a series of meetings that they had requested that were special meetings. So all of those have been canceled, and which meetings still remain?
The only one that for the month of September, that's a great question. I'm talking about through September. There was a proposed special board meeting for the 17th to further discuss the executive profile. And what HYA basically said is they don't think that's necessary since the regular board meeting is the next week and the posting is established throughout October. So they didn't see a particular need to come in for a special board meeting just to focus on that. So just that part.
Okay.
There's still, that timeline is still pretty tentative after that as far as what's going on after this point.
So do we have any additional meetings outside of that's what I want to clarify, outside of our regularly scheduled meetings?
Okay, good question.
I would think the later ones still apply. It's just
Well, yeah, November 5th, there was talk about a presentation of the first slate. November 15th, first round interviews.
Okay.
So, you know, those certainly are not regular board meeting dates.
Okay,
So
right.
there should be, I would anticipate some more, but I don't know those have been completely finalized yet.
Okay.
More tentative.
Thank you.
Yep.
So remove the September 17th special
Yes.
meeting from our calendars, keep the rest of them until we hear otherwise.
It's tentative, yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you go back, push the button, go back? This plan about surveys and focus groups and staff focus groups and anybody else, I guess, who happens to be, passing through the neighborhood. Is that their proposal about how to handle this?
Maybe speak into the mic a little bit more.
Yeah, this is like all these surveys and focus groups and staff focus groups and kids focus groups, and is that the plan that they presented for this?
Yes, that came through when we had our meeting where we were talking about what we were looking for, and then we also decided at that meeting.
Was I not is that the August the 6th maybe?
No, that was the special board meeting, 6 August, yes. We did talk about all of this.
Well, yeah, but the problem, there's only like 4 or 5 days notice on that, and I couldn't make it. I'd already had commitments.
No, well, we understand. That's honestly, that's part of the, yeah, that's part of the issue with special, well, I shouldn't say an issue. The special board meetings, it's hard to get everyone there because it's not scheduled, so.
Don't forget to ask the guy who's walking across the sidewalk and get his opinion, too. You never know. But go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna gather all this feedback as much as we can, and then put together the leadership profile. Any other questions? Okay, FOIA. Jose.
Yes, sir. So we had 2 FOIAs this past month. The first one was from GetStar. It's a data collection agency. They wanted a report reflecting transactions from January 1st, 22 to present date, including but not limited to purchase order date, vendor name, description of purchase, line item quantity, line item price and amount. And then the next one was from Postal Source, who wanted all lease, purchase, meter rental, maintenance agreement for mailing equipment, such as postage meters, shipping and tracking software, folder inserts, folding system, address printers, tabbers, etc.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes informational items.
Thank you. Thank you. May I have a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Brzezinski.
Yes.
Goodrich.
Abstain.
McCullough.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Figueroa.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education appoint Dr. Douglas Wiles as an IMRF authorized agent for Fenton Community High School District 100.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Sam, could you?
Yeah, Doug, do you want to just give a brief explanation?
Yes, good evening, Board. This is just as a transition from Mr. Martin to myself in the role of CSPO. IMRF works on a calendar year as opposed to a fiscal year like TRS, and for the upcoming year, starting in January, we have personnel reports, IMRF qualifications, other things that need to be taken care of, and so this is just to list me as the authorized agent for IMRF for Fenton 100.
Any questions? Oh. Roll call.
Figueroa.
Yes.
Brzezinski.
Yes.
Goodrich.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
McCullough.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approve the disposal list as presented?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I can just jump in and say we did. Dr. Wiles worked with D2, D7, District 2, and District 7, and local charities to see if they were interested in any of the items that we listed on the disposal list, and they declined. So no one was interested in these disposal items. Thank you, Brittany, also for putting all the technology items together. So no one wants these items. So.
Roll call.
Brzezinski.
Yes.
Figueroa.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Goodrich.
Yes.
McCullough.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. Does anyone have any committee reports?
Yeah, the Bensonville Foundation met and we received the money. They received the money from Subaru they normally get, which is a bulk of what we give away. It was decided not to take action on any items at that meeting and table it for more discussion and to see if any other requests came in. At that time, there were 5 requests pending that may or may not have grown. The next meeting, September 25th, 2025, at which point we'll have a final review and then start taking action on the items. So that's all we got.
Nothing for finance and facilities this month.
There was a NEDSEC meeting. The first one of the year was in August. They went through their projections. They're down a few students from where they projected, but up a little bit from the year prior. They talked about a second classroom for early childhood development, and they also did a variety of feedback surveys, parents, students, and staff, and so the overall, there's some things that were positive and probably a few areas for growth within each area. So that was the NEDSEC meeting.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
We're going to be talking about the budget here next month, right? One of the things I'm particularly interested in is how much we're going to have to budget for NESDEC in the next go-around. Some of those numbers weren't always clear in prior presentations, and I'm hoping that when you present the numbers, that portion will be easy to see, since it generally is a considerable sum.
In terms of NEDSEC, what particular items?
Well, in other words, the last couple of years, our NESDEC bill has been in the neighborhood of like $4 million. Okay, so I think that's a number that should be easily visible.
Do you have any particulars how you would like me to break that down? Anything?
Yeah, just somehow, I don't care. I mean, otherwise, previously, it's been buried in other expenses and other categories without being specifically identified. At least that's my recollection.
Okay. Next month, we'll be doing the tentative budget for approval. This portion of it, would you like that to be a separate item from the approval of the budget?
I think what he's, not to speak for Reed, but I guess I'll try. I think he wants that highlighted within the budget.
Got it.
So not a separate presentation on it, but.
Right. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a problem.
And Lend, nothing to report there.
Our next board meeting is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025 at 7 p.m. with a tentative policy meeting scheduled at 6 p.m. prior to the regular meeting. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn? All in favor, aye?
Hey.
Thank you and good night.